I'm the financial equalizer, J.E. War. I'm the guy to come to when you got a financial question or a financial problem, and let me see if I can help you solve it. Okay, when uh, I'm smiling because I'm trying to clean this language up a little bit. But what I hate more than anything in the world is when somebody pees on my leg and tells me it's raining. And that's what the financial industry's been doing to the general public forever. And that's the little game they're playing. They tell you one thing, but they do something else. So, and they've been getting away with it. I don't even hear anybody screaming about it, but I'm going to be screaming about it. So, what I'm going to do is I want to show you something that really controls a whole lot of your life. Your whole life is rotates around debt. It dictates what kind of cars you drive, where your kids go to school, what kind of house you live in, what kind of education your kids get. It dictates almost everything. What kind of medical coverage you get, what kind of legal coverage you get. There's just so many variables that are controlled by debt, and yet they don't teach any classes in debt. You can't get a class in debt in college. They don't teach it in high school. They teach math, but they don't teach debt, and it bewilders me. Why don't they teach people something that is probably going to control their whole life? And so that's what we're going to talk about right now. We're going to talk about debt and how debt works. So I'm trying to figure it out. There's no books that I know of. I've never read this anywhere. And I was trying to figure out exactly how they work. And I used my little, uh, that's a BA35. It's just a calculator you can get at BA2 Plus. You can get it at Walmart, or you can download it on your phone. And one of my tutorials will be how to use that. So it's a free download. If you have a smartphone, just go in there and look for Texas Instrument BA2 Plus, and you can download it. And once I got that down and I learned how to use that calculator, and it's got a lot of buttons on it that I don't know what they do. I know what 5 or 6 of them do, so I can work it. Uh, I'm kind of self-taught on all this stuff. It's kind of like a friend of mine plays the guitar upside down with the big strings on the bottom. The big strings are usually on the top. Well, he's one of the best guitar players I've ever seen in my life. Uh, and how did you learn to do that? He said, I just taught myself. And he learned how to play it upside down. So I learned how to do it with this calculator. And I have kind of a inquisitive nature, let's say. When I was a kid, my parents used to put Elmer's glue on all the screws on the back of the alarm clocks and the radios and the TV because they knew I would take them apart if I could get them apart. They tried hiding screwdrivers, but I found kitchen knives worked just about as well. So that's what I'm doing with finance. I started going into it. I wanted to know exactly how credit cards work because I knew that was a ripoff. And I thought they work different from everything else. Well, I figured it out. I figured out how credit cards work. And then I figured out, well, I want to figure out how mortgages work. And this was a surprise. They work exactly the same way. Credit cards and mortgages work exactly the same. Mortgage is a combination of a Latin word, mort, for death, and German word gauge for measured death. It's the way you pay off a house. That's exactly where the banks make their money. The interest rate is probably of not much value to them. Banks make money off what's called a margin. That's how they stay competitive with each other. So let's say the banks are making 3% margin, and it costs them 3% to get your money. So they got to lend money out at 6%. They make 3. Makes sense. If they're lending money out at 12, it's probably because it's costing them 9%. they make 3. So just because the interest rate goes up, it doesn't mean that they're making more money. But where they make their money is in something called amortization, and that's the way we pay them back. And that's kind of what I'm going to get to. I'm going to talk to you about. Now let's look at Albert Einstein. You would probably agree, pretty smart guy. He figured out something. It's not a theory, it's a rule. E equals mc squared is a theory, but Einstein's rule of 72 is a rule. And here's how it works. And Einstein, before I tell you that, Einstein said that compound interest was the most powerful tool in the universe. Okay, because he could see what compounding in nature did, where a thing grows and then it grows on itself, then it grows on itself, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's a powerful tool in nature and in finance. And so let's look at it. His theory is, his rule is this. You divide whatever interest rate you're making on your money into the number 72. And it's going to tell you how long it takes for your money to double. So if you put your money in a bank at 3%, 3 goes into 72 24 times, so it's going to take you 24 years for your money to double. So put $2,000 in a bank, in 24 years you have 4, and in another 24 years you have 8. So it took you 48 years to get $8,000, of which 2 was yours to begin with. Okay, so that's kind of slow. That's slow. I don't know how many 48-year periods you have left in your life. It couldn't be more than 2 or 3, but most people just don't have that much time. It's just too slow. So let's say about 6%. So if you're getting 6% on your money, it's going to double every 12 years. So in 12 years, you got 4,000. In 24 years, you got 8,000. In 42 years, you got 36,000. And in 48 years, you got, did I say 36? I meant 16,000. And so in 48 years, you have $32,000. It took you 48 years to make $32,000. Now, most of you will agree that banks make more than 12% on your money. The credit cards today are over 20%. So let's say the bank's only making 12% on your money. So you put in $2,000, and in 6 years, the bank now has 4,000. In 12 years, they got 8,000. In 18 years, they got 16,000. In 24 years, they got 32,000. In 36 years, they got 128,000. In 42 years, they got 266,000. In 48 years, they got $512,000. Now, that's not all profit. They got to pay you back that $8,000. But they still made $504,000 on your money. That's called OPM, other people's money. Okay, so they made over $500,000 off of your $2,000, and you made, actually, you only made $6,000. Isn't that amazing? It's just math. You can look it up. Okay, that's the way it goes. So putting your money in a bank, I don't think is the greatest thing to do. You need to get a higher return on your money. Now, I don't do any kind of selling of any kind of investments or anything like that. But I can tell you, the average mutual fund probably paid 12% in the last 20 years. If it paid 12%, you made $512,000. And the bank made nothing. Here's your choice. You make $512,000, the bank makes nothing. But, and I'm going to go into the cost of this also. I mean, it's unreal what the cost of this is. For that guarantee, that 3% guarantee, here's what happened. They guaranteed you 3%, and they knew that they could make more money than 3% on your money. So they made $504,000. $504,000, if you break that down, they charged you about $820 a month every month for 48 years for that 3% guarantee. 3% is about what inflation runs. So actually, they just kind of gave you your money back. So, this is a system that we're in, and nobody's telling you about it. So we're gonna go through some more of these things, but that right there is telling you you don't want to put your money at 3%. I don't care about the guarantee. If they're guaranteed, it's because they know they can make more money, and you can make the same amount of money they do with knowledge. And that's what we're about to give you, some knowledge. So when you get ready to start saving money, this is a good thing to know. When you get ready to start borrowing money, you better understand what's happening to you, because a mortgage is set up on an amortization table. And the rule in mortgages is this: you pay half the mortgage. So if you had a 30-year mortgage, you'd pay 15 years, but you'd only reduce your principal by 25%. So if you borrowed $100,000, you're going to be somewhere around $75,000, $72,000 to $75,000 still owed. And most people don't keep mortgages for 15 years. They refinance or sell the house every 5 to 6 years. So I'm going to go through this a little bit more in my next tutorial on mortgages. And we're just going to start tearing these things apart so you understand what your actual cost is when you're borrowing money. And we'll find a better way to do things than borrowing money from some bank. So once again, this is Second Chance Hope Group. We're a nonprofit organization that educates prisoners and women's shelters on how money works. I am the financial equalizer. I can answer your questions. You had financial problems or questions? Let me see if I can help, because if I can help, I will. If you want to get in touch with me, it's je@secondchancehopegroup.org. je@secondchancehopegroup.org. If you want some of your relatives or friends or anybody else want to email me or come to the website, please tell them where I am. It's just www.secondchancehopegroup.org. And my phone number, 737-293-6920. And when you call, you're going to get me. So if you're locked up in prison and you want to talk to me, email me and send me your information. I'll set you up so you can give me a call and we'll talk about your problems. If you have relatives or friends or anybody that you would like to give me a call and ask questions, I'm happy to do that. Please get them to email me at je@secondchancehopegroup.org and set up a time for the phone call so I can make sure I've got enough time to answer their questions. So I hope you enjoyed this series. Hope you learned something from this. And I'll see you with the next documentary we have.